Hello and welcome to a brand new series on my channel. I'm not doing a speed build, I'm not doing a challenge, I'm actually starting the Simmered Save file. So I'm really excited to just begin to rebuild all the different worlds in The Sims. So instead of doing something like a speed build, I want you to be able to build with me and see what my thought process is, more of the behind the scenes kind of stuff that happens when I'm building. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on over to the map and see where our first world is going to be. So the first world we're going to rebuild is Willow Creek. And the neighborhood we're going to start with is this one here in Foundry Cove. And our first lot is going to be the Streamlet single. So let's get in there, bulldoze it, and get started with the build. So to make this a shotgun style house, we just basically need a long building. It's a very simple kind of build style. So I'm just going to copy that up. And because I want this to be 64 by 64, I'm just going to add a little half wall here. And we'll make this into a loft. So let's bring this out one more. And I think that leaves us with a really nice base. So let's go ahead and add some roofing. And we'll need some down here. Perfect, and we need a little porch area. Okay, let's adjust that because it's looking a little bit wild. So one thing I do want to do is add in a little punch out here, just so there's a little bit more visual interest on the front of this build. And in a lot of the pictures of the Queen Anne style, I was noticing lots of spandrels. So I want to make sure to use some that are a little bit intricate. So I'm going to use these from Strangerville. And I want to add in some columns. And I think I want to use something that's basic but has a little bit of flair to it. So these from Cats and Dogs are perfect. And now let's get some wallpaper on. So I really want this to be a yellow house. So we're going to go for this yellow wallpaper. And we do want to remove this little column, the automatic column from that area. So now I'll just get some doors and windows on this house. Okay, so we have some doors and windows. I went ahead with this kind of bold window from Cats and Dogs, the door from Paranormal, and then just some base game windows with, of course, just a little cottage living window. So now I want to raise up this build so that we can have some stairs going up to it. And let's go ahead and choose our foundation. And I think I'm just going to keep it simple. Maybe we'll use that one on the porch and then this one for the rest of the build. I want to add in this flooring from Cats and Dogs. I just feel like they would have painted flooring on the outside. I want to go ahead and change the roofing to this scalloped roofing. I think that will just look a little bit nicer. And then I just want to change up the trim piece. So there's one piece I want to focus the landscaping on, and that is this willow tree from Cottage Living. Let's see, let's size that down one. And now we'll just build kind of a backyard around it. And I really want to make sure to include some skill building here. I'm assuming the people who live here are pretty creative, so definitely a nice little painting area and maybe just a place to sit and eat. So I'm going to go ahead and grab out some flowers and get started on just laying out the flowers and bushes and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to get started on laying out some of these plants. So I know I want the hydrangea bush over there, and I want to have some out at the front. So I'm just going to mix and match. One of them is from Base Game and the smaller one is from Cottage Living, and they're both from Live Edit. Then I'm going to add in this hollyhock from Romantic Garden. And I'm just getting all of these kind of laid out so I have an idea of where I want to put things. I think that will go more over here. And so for the flowers, you can see I'm going for like a yellow and pink kind of vibe. And the big thing I want to do over here is add in a rose bush that is going to kind of go over this trellis. So that's just going to take me a minute, and I'll come back to you when it's finished. Okay, so I finished up the little rose detail on the trellis, and I think that looks really, really nice. And I added in just quite a few flowers here at the front. I really want this to just be like an explosion of color and a really lush garden. So I'm gonna carry this through to the rest of the build. I do want to add in a few more bushes just to take up a little bit of space with more greenery. So I'm gonna grab there's a particular bush from Base Game that I want to use, and it's this one from Base Game. So I'm just going to add that along the side of the build. And over here we'll add in just a few pieces. Again, just to add some greenery, and then it also acts as a little bit of a fence. I'm actually going to size that down one more because I think it's a little too high. Yeah, and let's go ahead and just carry that through to the rest of the lot. So I'll be right back. So now that we got that, I'm just going to continue to do a little bit of landscaping. Just going to put these bushes here to kind of blend in that bush with the rest of the flowers, and then I want to carry the flowers through here to the back, but also of course leave like a little patio space. So to do that, I want to bring over some of these. Maybe one right there, some of the rose bushes, of course. And I want to balance it by putting a few on this side. And we'll add in some of these. And I think some ferns will look good as well. So I'm going to add one here. And now I want to kind of bring some flowers along where the tree is. But I want to make sure I can fit in a swing. So I'm going to put a swing in really quickly. So using this swing from Little Camper's Kit, I want to just add that near the willow tree. Let me adjust this just a little bit because I do want to make sure there's room for some art. So maybe we could just put the easel here, and there isn't much space right now how we have it for a sitting area. So let me just put down a sitting area, and I'll kind of adjust the flowers so I can make some room for it. Okay, so adding in this chair will give us kind of an idea. I think over here would be a nice spot. And we'll just do kind of a little squishy patio area, but there's just enough room for everything, so I think that looks good. So let me just put some flowers all around this area and I will come back. So now I want to add in a pathway, and I'm going to use this texture from Get Together and just connect in the two different areas. Perfect. So now I'm going to just go on through and add some dirt and a little bit of detail to the sides of the path. And because no landscaping is complete without some random rocks, I'm going to go through and add in just a couple rocks here and there, mainly using my favorite rock, which is the Hipster Rock Duo. Okay, so now we need to add the all-important mailbox and trash can. So Definitely want to make sure I don't forget this. So we'll add that there in the front, and then we'll add a trash can to this little area I created in the back. And because there's enough space, I might as well add 2. And then just to add a little bit of visual interest, I think we need something going on here. So let's add in a couple more flowers. Maybe adding in a hose will look nice. So let me pull out the hose. A little gardening table could look nice, so I'm going to check that out. We have a few different options. I'm thinking about the one from Cottage Living. I think that could be good, but we do have this one. Let's see how it compares to Cottage Living. So either using the Blooming Rooms one or the Cottage Living one. And I think color-wise, I'd want to go with white. And I actually think I like the Blooming Rooms. I think I'm feeling it. So I'm going to go with that one. And I think adding in a few more flowers to this table will look really nice. So just this simple flower pot. And we'll add in, just bring that down like that. And maybe, you know what, maybe I think that will be good, just keeping that pretty clear and clean. So I think that's just about this area done, but this, of course, we can see is pretty blank. So there's 2 things I wanted to do. I wanted to add in some trim. I think that adds in just a nice little detail that works with like this Queen Anne style house. And then adding in some flowers here or just ivy. So I'm going to take a look and pull out a combination that I like that I think will work with this build. So I'm going to use a combination of these 2 plants. I believe both are from Get Together. And we'll just put this ivy so it kind of sticks in between. Okay, I think that's looking good, and I just want to add a little bit of detail here. Okay, I think that added in just a little bit more visual interest to the side of the house. And I think we're at a good place to start thinking about the interior. We do need a light out here though, so let me add the light and then we'll move on. So for the light, I think I want to keep it simple, and I'm thinking this one from Cottage Living in white will be nice. And I'm just going to size that down and put it on either side of the door. I think this area is calling out for a little bit of greenery, so I'm thinking this piece from Werewolves will be nice. Yeah, I think that looks nice. I think I'm going to change the color if there's one that's a little bit more yellow. Maybe just the white. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for that. And then I keep seeing things we need to add. A welcome mat would look really nice here. And I think this one from Cats and Dogs will be perfect. All right, so that's the outside done. Let's go ahead and move on to the interior. Okay, so we need some flooring here. So I'm just gonna use this light base game one and gonna bring it upstairs as well. And then let's just get some plain white wallpaper to just fill it in for the time being, and then as I kind of figure out what I want, where I want things to go, I will change the paper with the color scheme that I think works the best. Okay, now we need some lights. Okay, so now that we have things kind of lit up and we have an idea of what this is going to look like, I'm going to go in and start furnishing this. So really quickly, I should add in some stairs so I can get an idea of where the stairs will be. Let me just set this. Okay, there, and it doesn't want to go in because of the wall. So let me change this to a fence. And see if that works a bit better. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. That hits right at the front of the door, which I think will be just fine. We could go like that to kind of make the space look a little bit more intentional, but I think, or let's see if we go like that. Yeah, I think this is the best use of this space. So that means that our living room is probably going to be somewhere right here. So let's find a couch together. And I'm thinking, of course, bringing in some of that yellow from the outside, which this could be a fun option from Paranormal. Now we could do it this way or this way, which is a little squishy, but let's go ahead and put the kitchen down, and then I'll see if I end up liking how that looks. So for the kitchen, I'm thinking maybe I won't do that. It's gonna go right here. And again, I think we can bring that yellow color. I think that would be really cute to have a yellow kitchen. So I'm gonna use these cabinets from Cottage Living and place them all along this area, and I think I'm just going to have this be a half cabinet. And then we need a fridge, and I think I'm just going to use this one from Cottage Living. We need a stove, and I think this yellow one from Jungle Adventure will be really cute. And let's put that more central. And then we need a sink. I'm wondering if an island could fit in here. It could fit, but it just might not make that much sense. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that. Just doesn't work. We can put like a faux island in if we want to, but that does make me want to potentially extend this and put the sink. Okay, I think we're just gonna have to live with it like that. And this is kind of an awkward space, so I do think I'm gonna have the couch go this way. Let's go ahead and grab out a chair with tables to kind of get an idea of this layout a little bit more. So I really want to use this table from Paranormal, but I did end up changing the swatch to go for a more neutral tone of the yellow and blue. And I think I'm going to use, let's try pink actually. Let's go yellow. You know, I'm not loving this, so let me try a different combination. Okay, so I just changed the swatch and I think I like this a little better. And seeing this table now, it feels like we can put in a little faux island. So I'm gonna look for what we have in the catalog that could maybe fill in this space nicely. So I think I like this from Cottage Living as an island, but I do want to size it up with the tool mod just to make it the height of the countertops. Oops. So I want to scale, and I think 1.2 should do it. Let's try 1.1. Okay, that looks good. And then we're just gonna turn it around. And I think that looks nice. Yeah, I think that just gives a little bit of distinction. I might try a few other console tables. So I'll be right back. So I'm actually going to go with this one from Base Game and just size it up as well. And I just think having the space underneath makes this look a bit more open, which I definitely think it needs. I'm going to grab out this end table and use it to kind of fill in one half of the island. And I just think that looks a little bit more like an island, and then there's some more storage on this side. just adds a little bit of something extra. So now I want to add in a few cabinets to this area. And then I want to add in a shelf to kind of blend those two together. And actually, let's see if there's a yellow swatch that will work. Yeah, we'll go with that. And that just kind of makes it feel like the cabinets are all connected up there, which I think looks much better. So just adding in the few odds and ends we need for a kitchen, like a trash can in this corner. And now I want to add in just some decor items, different things to clutter up the counters. So I'm going to pull those out. So here's a few of the items I grabbed, and this is one I wanted to use from laundry day just to fill in this space. And then over here I thought it would be nice to have what looks like a little tea area. And over here some greenery because it is closer to the window. With, of course, these jars from Cottage Living. I think that looks nice. And then on the island, or faux island, we're gonna have this bread basket. This bread is from Debug, and you can find it by typing in bb.show hidden objects. And then I'm gonna use this candle. And I think we'll have to move this up with the tool mod just a little bit. Yeah, it looks like the candle is kind of sunken in. So let's move it up 0.05. And it actually looks like the basket was at a good level. So let me bring that back down. Okay, cool, that's looking good. All right, that is looking good in the kitchen. Now the only thing that's left is putting on maybe a different backsplash here. So I'm gonna look at what we have in tile and see if anything really stands out to me that could work. That actually looks pretty nice. I wonder if we have this in kind of a yellow, yeah. Just doing a yellow kitchen, that's pretty good. It's not an exact match. Oh, maybe the blue's kind of fun. Oh, man, this is tough. I really like the blue. Let me look at the yellow again. And that looks great as well. Let me see if I change this back. That really matches pretty well. So I think I'm gonna go for that. I think that looks good. Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm really happy with that. The one thing is I think it would be good to add in a rug here. So let's go to decorations and pull out just one of the longer rugs. Maybe something like this kind of has all the colors we're using. And we'll just set it between the sink and the oven. I'll maybe even size it down so it fits in that little area. Okay, cool. That's looking good. And now if we move over here, let's go ahead and get the dining room, which isn't much of a dining room, but we'll get that kind of decorated up. So of course we need a plant, and I think just the simple plant from Dine Out will be nice right there. And I want to add in a hanging light. I think I'm going to use the one from Tiny Living. And actually, I think we might have it in this bluish color. Yeah, so that kind of brings in all the different colors we're using. And now I definitely think we need to add some curtains here. And I know this is going to take me a while, so I'll take a look and be right back. And in looking at all the options, I actually think this white will be really nice, and because it's so neutral, it will match in with whatever we add in here. So now let's move on to the living room and kind of get this figured out because it is a little bit of an odd shape. We kind of have to put the TV here, which wouldn't be ideal because it's blocking such a nice window, but you know, it is what it is. So we'll just do that. So that means I need a console table. So I'm thinking this one from base game, and what I actually want to do is put a TV on and then sync it down with tool mod so it sits a lot lower to the floor. So let's bring it down -1. That's too far. Let's bring it up 0.3, maybe another 0.2, and maybe just a little bit more. And now we have, it's a little bit more of a modern console table, which I think works well, but it also doesn't cover up the window as much. So that's perfect. And now we just need a curtain. And I think using these vines as curtains will be a nice little touch. Oh. So now I want to add in a coffee table, and I think just using the simple coffee table from Tiny Living will match this space nicely. And we'll double it up. Now I want to bring some more elements from paranormal, so I'm gonna just sort by that and grab out some items. So I'm gonna add in another hanging plant over here. I want to add the cow plant. I'm just gonna use tool mod to scoot that in. Little hand, and maybe this macrame piece. So that's all from paranormal, but I of course want to add a few more things to this space, like this plant from Blooming Rooms. And it almost is where I want it to be, but we'll have to use tool mod to scoot these both over. And I'm just using gravity pull to click the items into place. And now I definitely think we need some magazines, and I'm going to use my favorite stack, which is the Issues of Interior Design magazine from Dream Home Decorator. And then maybe a little candle and a plant there. So just going to raise this up so it can sit on the size down table. And then just drag the items over with tool mod. And it looks like I'll have to bring them down just a little bit, so I think a -0.05 will do it. Perfect. So now the only thing that this space really needs is a rug, so definitely gonna add that in. I know this is gonna take me a while to decide. I'm thinking about using the paranormal rug. But I think that's a little bit too yellow, so we need something with a little bit more variation in color. Maybe this rug from Dream Home Decorator. It does have all the right colors, but something about it just looks a little off to me. Maybe we'll use that as a potential entryway rug. Maybe we need something that's just white. Yeah, maybe that's kind of what this area needs, something a little bit more neutral, because I just don't think we'll be able to find the right color. I'm going to do a little bit more searching. So I have two final rugs. There's this one from Vintage Glamour, and I like the kind of plushness of it, or there's this one from City Living, and I really like the color that it brings in. So let me know which one you would go with, but I think I'm leaning towards this one from Vintage Glamour. Maybe I'll use this in the bedroom. So let's move on to this little entryway area. I do want to add in a light switch, and then this kind of mail storage with hooks just right above that. And I want to add in a mirror here on this side, and I think this one with kind of the different notes on it will look kind of nice. And we need a little umbrella stand. I always think that's really nice to have in with gameplay. Awesome, so I think that's actually gonna be good for this area. Maybe I could set a little something, a little plant up there maybe. I think this plant from University will look nice. Okay, now with that area finished, let's move on to the bathroom. So I did quickly just have to change the size of the build because I noticed my tiles had changed. So I had it just a little bit too big. So I'm gonna actually change this to residential so we don't have to see that. And now we have a smaller bathroom, but it will still totally be functional. So I'm just gonna pick out some wallpaper. I think this subway tile matches really nicely with the colors that we have in the rest of the house. And I'm just going to add in a shower from University, a toilet from Tiny Living, and we'll put in a sink over here, and I think I'll use the sink from Tiny Living as well. And we'll use the new mirror from High School Years. And now we just need to add in some decor items, make this feel a lot more lived in. So of course we need a toilet paper roll. We can add in a towel rack here and add in a towel here as well. And then there's just enough room to maybe put on these items that we got in the bathroom clutter kit. If I size them down, I think I can squeeze them in the corner. And then on this side we can squeeze a soap dispenser. That just looks a little bit more filled in. And of course, let's use the wall soap dispenser from Snowy Escape. And I think that's about as good as we're gonna get it. And of course, for this bathroom, we need a curtain because you can see through and see everything. So let's grab a curtain out. And I think I'll just use this one from Base Game size down. And actually, let's add a little bit of a light up here. Just this one from Base Game as well. And I think that's the bathroom done. So now all we have left is this space here. And I'm thinking this is the perfect space to put in a desk. I'm gonna try this one from Dream Home Decorator and this chair from High School Years. And that matches in so well with the other yellow colors that we have going on. And I really want to use this new tablet kind of computer setup that we got from Pastel Pop. And now we're at the point where we definitely need a few decor items. So I want this to be a pretty cluttered up office space, so I grabbed quite a few items out. So the first thing I want to do is bring this up to the upper shelf. Let's see if I'll be able to. There we go. And I think I'll need 2 of those. Okay, and then up here, I also want to add in a plant. Then over here, this nice stack from Tiny Living. And in front, we'll just do the sticky note stack from Everyday Clutter. And this pair of glasses, again from Everyday Clutter. And a light in the corner, as well as some headphones. And that should do it. And I think this definitely needs a little bit of something over here, so I'm gonna put in some yellow wallpaper just to add a little pop. And this space over here definitely needs something, so I think this painting will go really nice, and it adds in a few more colors, which I think this space needs. Behind the couch there's a little room, so I think I'm gonna add a few plants, especially because I haven't used my favorite plant yet in this build, which is this plant from Cottage Living. So now I'm happy and the build can be over. And then I think this plant from Paranormal will look nice. Okay, and so just looking around as I am about to move upstairs, I definitely think this space needs something under the stairs. So I think using these cubes from Dream Home Decorator will be nice. And then I'm just going to add some storage boxes, and I think that will make it look more intentional and used, and like there isn't just a big blank space. So I'm going to use yellow. Perfect, and now there's a little something going on under the stairs. So that means we're ready to move on to the upper story. Let's change this railing to white. Let's grab the same door we used downstairs and the front door. So I want to do another kind of library space here. So let's look for a bookshelf. I think this bookshelf from Get to Work is perfect. So now we just need a little reading chair. And this little kind of ottoman chair from high school years is perfect. And this space here is just calling out for a plant, so I think I'm going to use my favorite plant again up here. And then just to balance it out, maybe adding a plant on top of here. And then maybe to make use of this space even more, we could see if we can fit in a yoga mat. I think that would be really nice for this room. Put it there, and I don't know if it will be functional, but I'll definitely play test it. I think we'll just go with maybe that one is fine. Yeah. And this area is definitely also asking for some kind of color, so I'm going to look at what we have in wallpapers. Maybe using that from high school years. Or we could bring in this from Paranormal. And I think I'm going to go with that because it will match the couch a little bit better. So that means we just have the bedroom to do. So over here, let's go ahead and pick out a bed. I really love this bed from high school years, and I think it carries in like a lot of the patterns that we've been using to the bedroom and brings in so much visual interest that this tiny bedroom definitely needs something to make it stand out. So now we need some smaller nightstands. I think these from Paranormal size down work really well with the bed frame. And now let's use some sconce lights, and I think the ones from Paranormal will also look really nice here. These ones here, and I'm going to do it in the yellow swatch. And I think this piece of art kind of brings in some of the colors and the nature kind of vibe. And I actually think I'm going to use this egg rug, but size it up where you can't really see the yolk. But I think like having kind of the fun shape will look really nice. And we could even size it up a little bit more, so I'm going to bring it to 1.75. Now we just need to fit in some curtains, a dresser, and hopefully a mirror. So let me grab some curtains out. I think I'm going to use these yellow curtains from Eco Lifestyle. And we'll use the trusty little narrow dresser that will just fit in there. And then I think on this wall we can get a small mirror hanging up. Just this one. And now we just need a few items to clutter up the top of the dresser with. So I'm thinking some items from Everyday Clutter will look nice. I think this makeup clutter and this little jewelry stand will go really nice on the top of the dresser. So I'm just gonna place these right there, put the dresser back. And now we just need a few clutter items on the side tables. So we'll put some books up here, a clock, some flowers, and we'll move those over with the tool mod. And we'll see if they're floating at all. Nope, they look good. Perfect. And again, this is definitely calling out for a pop of color, so I'm going to use this wallpaper from Eco Lifestyle that has that deeper yellow. And I think that's the bedroom done, which means this build is finished. Well, that's the first house done for the Simmered Save file. I'm so happy to be saying that. It's very, very exciting to finally have this started. So thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed something a little bit different on the channel. Please let me know down below in the comments if you have any suggestions or anything you want to see in the save file. I'd love to build it with you. But that being said, stick around for the final shots right after this, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!